Hello. I am actually at the moment gonna try to look up some music real quick here. Cause I'm feeling some video game music again. Let's see here. Of course, I sit here for 15 minutes getting ready for the stream to start, and then I don't have any music ready when I start. But that's okay, because I was thinking I was going to play one thing, and now I changed my mind. I'm going to play another thing. Um, Sounds pretty good. We'll use this for now. It might be a little too exciting for this, but hey, whatever. Anyway, also if the music's too loud, let me know. Because I can turn down the decibels on this. So, all right. So, like the title says, today we're doing the. Let's go ahead and just switch over here. The HFX HG Gundam, which I actually got this one semi recently, so it's kind of funny that it already came up on the list. I started keeping a list of what's been done and what I want to do. So clean this off real quick. Where's my toothbrush at? There we go. Here we go. Put this stuff away. I'm actually going to, so as everyone here knows, I'm going to be attempting a different method of cleaning today because I'm always trying to find something that I really, really like. Sometimes I just use this to clean off my nubs. Sometimes I use this. I'm going to, I don't know. I don't want to call myself a perfectionist or anything like that because I'm definitely not. But at the same time, like I definitely, I want things to look as smooth as possible. I think that's pretty normal for anyone who makes scale models. Is they definitely don't want to like take big giant nicks in the when they're cutting nubs and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm always just looking for like a perfect method. It doesn't. Everyone kind of follows the same methods I've noticed, and you know, I'm just deciding to try yet another one. That's all. Let's see. Also move my camera. I'm trying to see. Yeah, it looks good. So, um, it's actually just sitting on a pile of sandpaper right now, but it's at like the perfect height. So, I guess I can't use that sandpaper anymore. All right, let's go ahead and get going. I'm adjusting all my runners here so they don't fall over on me. I was using I guess you would call it the box method. Oh, I gotta show you too. I made this janky fix for my God hands. So for the longest time, and for anyone who's ever watched this stream, they probably notice when I'm using my God hands that the spring always falls out. And so I have an extra pair here that I've been saving for when these finally kind of like wear down and everything. And I noticed that the spring doesn't really have a problem falling out. In fact, they didn't open as far. And that's when I noticed that there's this little nub right here inside the God hands that actually keeps it from opening completely. And then I noticed that the God hands that I've been using for the past 3 years or so, the nub was missing. So I actually went into one of my, I have a, actually, is it still in here? Maybe I put it away. But I have a box of glass repair screws, like for your glasses. And I took one of those and I jammed it in the nub, and it's actually working okay. I haven't actually tried to cut anything since I put that in there, so I don't know if it's going to get in the way of cutting, but I don't think it should. But if it works, it works, you know? Let's go ahead and get this started. And then, yes, I wanted to start doing more of using these more to cut off the... I don't like these. These were recommended as a good side cutter. They're Zuron. Not sure I'm a fan of these though. They feel like you really gotta just squeeze with all your might to make a simple cut in the runner. This actually was one of the first pair of nippers that I ever got before I knew what I was doing. You know, I was thinking about it the other day about, because I was talking to another streamer about how when when I first got into Gunpla, it was when Gundam Wing was on Toonami, and they used to sell the old HG kits. At Toys R Us at the time. In fact, I remember, because in recent years when I've seen them in the stores, they're in the Japanese like boxes where it's all like written in I guess katakana or whatever. And when I was a kid, all the boxes were in English, and they sold them in Toys R Us. Anyway, and I was thinking back to then, and honest to goodness, I have no clue how I did those back then, because I know for a fact that I did not have nippers. So I have no idea how I cut those back in the day. And I'm very curious as to seeing how I would have done that without nippers. And I really wish I had I really wish I could remember how I used to do it. What I do remember... Sorry, guys. What I do remember is I would use... I would just sit in my bedroom and I grabbed a TV tray and I just used the TV tray to put these together. I really wish I still had those kits too, because I would probably, of course I was a kid, so I didn't know what I was doing, but I would probably be absolutely disgusted by all the nub marks and all that stuff, because they had to have been there. If I'm not using actual nippers, they must have looked pretty bad. Ugh. And then I need 37. That's right next to it here. I think it was literally the last stream where I was talking about how useless those like plastic runner holders are. And here I am attempting to make use of it again. At one point I would say I was probably more addicted to buying tools than actually buying models, because I'm like I said, I'm always kind of in the search for the perfect way to do things. The one that's most efficient, that gives me the best output, I guess. And I think the thing that I'm learning the most over time is that this is not you could put some efficiency into this hobby, but the best results just require time. See, I thought this was going to be like regular video game music, but it's really not. Let's see here. Let's change this. Something. Wow. This guy's just got a bunch of... What if he has a playlist of all this stuff? Yes. Oh, this is perfect. This is great. Actual video game music. I've never really gotten into Animal Crossing, and it's funny because I love stuff like I used to play The Sims a lot, but I was also one of those people that plays The Sims almost purely for the chaos of it. You make your friends and then you ruin their lives. That kind of thing. The first thing you do when you start playing the game is you just turn on the simoleons cheat and get as much money as you can. Oh, I need one of these big boys. Let's see, PC1. Okay, I see here. Hit India. There we go. Perfect. Perfecto. Oh, I'm making a little jet by the looks of it. I'll be honest with you. I have not watched a single episode of Gundam Age. Actually, I don't even know if it's streaming anywhere. Well, anywhere legal. Probably Crunchyroll or something. I don't know. I should check sometime. I know that people tend to say that's kind of a kiddie show. So I think that's another reason. I've never tried to watch it. But Double Zeta was also considered a kiddie show. And I totally get that for the first half of that show. But like that show got like Zeta dark at the end of it. Oh, the music changed. That scared me. I was like, I don't recognize this alert. Also, I recently started watching Demon Slayer because some of the stuff that I watch is kind of all held in the same breath. I'm always hearing like, "Oh, you need to watch this. You need to watch this," and like I'm not a huge anime fan like in general, but like I'll give anything a shot if enough people are saying like, "Oh no, this is very good." So I decided to give Demon Slayer a try because again I've heard it was very good, and so far I'm enjoying it. It's not too not too terrible. It's not too bad. I didn't really know what to expect from it. It's I'd say definitely more maybe more shonen-y than I was expecting it to be, which is fine. You know, I've never been the biggest fan of shonen, other than Dragon Ball, and that's almost like pure nostalgia at this point. Like I understand the flaws in Dragon Ball. It's a fun show, but you know. It ain't it ain't it ain't but like I was never a fan of Naruto or Bleach, or never been able to get into One Piece or anything like that. So I've always been more of a fan of, you know, horror anime and like um stuff that's maybe a little bit more, well, I won't say more actiony, because I would say Demon Slayer definitely has good action in it. I mean, I'm on the 4th episode. I'm on the episode after he kills that, like, big green demon that had killed all of his teacher's students in the past. And that fight sequence was pretty cool. And, I've seen a couple clips here and there of stuff that happens later on, and at the very least, it looks like the animation is amazing. I really appreciate good animation like that. Like, the other day, man, I was watching the newest episode of Attack on Titan. And, like, say, I know a lot of people have problems with MAPPA and what they've done with the last season, but I don't think anyone can deny that last episode wasn't, like, incredibly animated. Like, basically every fight sequence with, like, Mikasa and Connie looked amazing. Super hardcore. And then, like, on top of that sequence where Flock is trying to fire that thunder spear onto the boat. Oh my god. That is, like, the best animation I've seen since probably that one sequence in season 3 where Levi's running away from Kenny's squad. You know the one. Everyone knows the scene. Anyone, if you know, you know. But and I'm surprised too, because usually when maybe I just haven't looked up this information, maybe it's out there, but usually when something happens like that in one of these shows, a lot of the news outlets will be like, "Oh, just so you know, the person who directed this sequence was blah blah blah, and they're also known for doing this and that and the other." But I have not seen that for that episode, because I remember, what episode was it? It was the episode where, spoilers, I guess, but it's the episode where Aaron and Zeke are looking through, I guess, Grisha's memories. And I remember distinctly feeling like, wow, this is like the facial animations, and even like, I mean, there's a part where Grisha's like screaming at the sky. I remember thinking, like, his movements in that were really, like, smooth looking. And then later on come to find out that apparently one of the animators that was in charge of facial expressions on Death Note had done that episode. Which, I've seen Death Note all the way through, and knowing that makes a lot of sense, actually, because that show is a show that has a lot of people not doing much movement, but doing a lot of facial reactions. And so it makes a lot of sense that if that is true. Okay. I should just make a playlist of I don't know if any of you guys have played this, but the Final Fantasy the Pixel remasters. I know some people aren't a big fan of those, or of what they did with those, but the soundtracks in those games are amazing. I should make a playlist of all of those to play during the stream. Although I don't know how litigious people are with that music specifically. But I don't know. They're such good soundtracks. I would love to play them on. I'd love to play them as background music on here. I've actually only listened to the soundtracks for Final Fantasy 1, 2, and 3 off of those because I was kind of like, those were so good that I kind of wanted to go back and like I was waiting to listen to 4, 5, and 6 because I already like those soundtracks as is. I should really stream it, but I don't know. I'll think about it. But I've been doing a run on Final Fantasy 13 because one of the things I always like to kind of like, one of the things that I was always kind of proud of was back when Final Fantasy 12 came out. I actually went ahead and my goal was to beat every Final Fantasy game, every numbered Final Fantasy game that had come out at that point. And I had Final Fantasy Origins, I had Final Fantasy Chronicles, I can't remember, Anthology I think was the other one. I had all of them on PlayStation 1, and then I had 10 and 12 on PlayStation 2. And then, you know, obviously you can't beat 11. You can't really beat Final Fantasy 14, so I don't count those. But I did it. I beat 1 through 12, other than 14, and I was always proud of that. But then I never played Final Fantasy 13. I was kind of out of Final Fantasy when that game came out, and so I always wanted to go back and actually go ahead and try to beat it, and then go ahead and try to do 15 because I've never played 15 at all yet. And I wanted to beat the sequels to 13 too because I had done X2 or 10-2, and so that was another goal of mine too, was to finally beat all the 13s and their sequels. I'll tell you what, 13's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. But I'm also not surprised by how good it is either. It's you know, I remember when that came out, and when that game came out, the big complaint was like it is very, very linear, and that's an understatement. That game is just literally a series of walking down hallways and fighting enemies. It is. This will take you back if you remember this game, but I think the bouncer was less linear than. You know what? I got autofocus on this camera. I need to fix that. That's no good. I hate when the autofocus is on because then anytime that I literally put anything in front of the camera, it just wants to completely focus on that, and that just, it's no good. Especially because the autofocus on this camera is awful for, you know, for anyone that has the C920, which I'm sure is a lot of you, because everyone has a C920. I was actually looking into figuring out another cam option. But the thing is I already have a nice camera hooked up to my main computer. This is my secondary computer that I keep in my hobby room, and I already had a C920, so I figured, yeah, I'll just use that, because that was the camera I originally used when I first started streaming. So I've just figured, yeah, I'll use that. And you know, the C920 is wonderful for, you know, when you first start streaming. It's a high def camera that doesn't look terrible, not great either. Makes my face look very red. My face is not usually that red in real life, but you know, it's a great first camera. But it does have its issues for sure. And it's not really good for this kind of streaming either, because like I said, like it's great when you don't, it's great for, because I don't turn off the autofocus on this camera, because it's great for if I need to lean in and stuff. It's fast enough to get my movements. But when you're on the gun, what I call the gunpla cam, when you're moving your hands back and forth, and you know, you're bringing runners in and holding them like this and cutting them and everything, and the camera's trying to focus in and out like that, it's definitely not fast enough to handle that much movement. So you really got to turn off the autofocus. But also, like, the idea of spending a lot of money on a new camera is not my idea of a good idea. Not my, you get what I'm trying to say. And the thing is, it's like, as far as the video quality goes for this, it looks fine. But the problem is that if I need you guys to look at something and I bring it up here, yeah, it's going to be blurry no matter what now, because I turned off the autofocus. But if I keep on the autofocus, you know, you guys get it. You get it. You get what I'm trying to say. Okay. So far, that screw hasn't gotten in the way of my Okay, so it points like that, and then it goes like this, and then this goes here. Is it just too tilted in there? Let me see here. Tweezers. I'll use the tweezers. Maybe I should take that off first. I dropped my tweezers the other day, so they're like bent up now. They'll still get the job done, but I had to order some new ones. I got, what did I get? Tamiya. Got some new Tamiya tweezers. So those should be here. Actually, I got them from New Type. And I order a lot from New Type. And usually they're very, very quick as far as, oh, I see. Usually they're very, very quick on shipping, but it was like taking over a week to send these. So I don't know if they do something different or do a different. Maybe they had to. Maybe they don't keep those in warehouse. I don't know, but it kind of surprised me. Not a big deal. Not an emergency either. So. Also, if anyone has any suggestions for new side cutters, I wouldn't mind getting a new set of side cutters. These don't, like, again, it's hard to see because I have the focus turned off, but like the way that these Zeros ones, what is it called? These Zeron ones cut, it's almost like it squeezes the plastic. Like it's not like a slice. And that's scary. I don't like that. Because I don't know, in my mind, if it's squeezing the plastic, that's going to cause the end of where the nub is attached to the plastic, I would assume that it's going to cause it to bend a little bit. And if it bends, I'm assuming that that'll cause stress marks. And we don't want stress marks. As much as we can avoid them, we want to avoid them. See, I've gone back to using the blade here, the hobby knife, because I do think generally overall I get the best results using the hobby knife instead of just using this. And just using this just for like really egregious stress marks and stuff like that. Like I said, every kit I make is a learning experience. And I'm hoping that one of these times everything just kind of like, I'm like, oh yes, this is the best way to do everything. I like this music. What's this from? Chrono Cross. Of course. Chrono Cross has such a great soundtrack. They just re-released that on Steam. I really want to pick it up. I used to have Chrono Cross for PlayStation 1. And I never really got too far into it because I remember the battle system I didn't enjoy. But the reason that was because my plan was funny enough, after I finished the Final Fantasy games, I wanted to go in and do the Chrono games, which, there's 2 of them, so that's not too bad. So I played through Chrono Trigger, which, I think most people would agree has one of the best battle systems in any RPG ever made. And I decided I was going to go ahead and then do Chrono Cross, which I know it's vaguely a sequel. I knew all that going in. I wasn't expecting the continued story of Chrono and the gang. But it's so different. Not the battle system, but the game itself almost reminds me kind of like Suikoden, because there's... wrong one. Because there's so much... How do I put it? Because it's another game that kind of like is like, oh, you just have a huge party. Like just a giant, like, oh, you have like 20 people in your party. One of those kind of games, which, to each their own, but I find that a lot of times games where you have a huge party like that tend to have not so great stories. And to put it honestly, like, I really only play JRPGs for their stories, which I know sounds stupid because JRPGs kind of always have the same story where it's like, yes, you young warrior go defeat God basically every single time. That's the story of every JRPG. But that said, I still end up liking the story of most of the games. They just feel very epic, because there's lots of world travel, and as cheesy as sometimes the story can be, it's more about the journey than the destination. Although I will say that Final Fantasy VII remake, if I could go back and replay every JRPG with that battle system in it, I would be so happy. Speaking of Suikoden also has a really great battle system. You know what the thing is as I've gotten older, and as I've played more, I think, tabletop RPGs and stuff like that, like D&D and things like that, I think that it has made me appreciate the amount of strategy that can be had in a normal JRPG game. Because when I was younger, like I said, I really cared more about the stories in those games than I did about fighting. So a lot of the times what I would end up doing is, when I would hit a wall, I would just go outside town and I would just level myself up. I'd grind and grind and grind way more than was necessary. I feel probably a lot of people did this just because, but grinded way too much. Basically, what game was it? I think it was Final Fantasy VII, where I just grinded so much that I didn't have any problems with the game, anything in the game, after I did my grinding. Like, all I did was grind for days and days and days, and and then it was just like, I think I'm strong enough to go fight this guy now. And not only was I strong enough, I was way overpowered for most of the rest of the game. This goes over what? Oh, I see. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. I'm curious now. I'm wondering is so I'm making this little jet here. My question is, in age, in the actual show, is this part of the FX Gundam? Does it transform out of this? Or is this just part of it? Part of the Gundam? I don't know. Very curious. That's neat, though. I always like it when they come with the little jets and stuff. Cool. We'll have this to sit on the side and display during this build. Oh, no, never mind. What am I looking for here? Looking for C13 and C1. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, I see now. So now I'm noticing too with these Zurons. Notice that if you cut kind of more in the center of the blade than at the tip, which I am so bad about, that they seem to actually cut quite a bit better. So maybe that's my problem. It's not a problem with Zuron, it's a problem with me. Oh no, that's still cutting kind of nasty there. Whatever. Like I said, if it's a real problem, I can always just get some new side cutters. But I definitely look at the Gunpla community to kind of decide what to get for things. Because it doesn't really matter if I clean up these nub marks because it's just for a stand, but whatever. I wonder if that'll buff out with this. Yeah, it kind of does. Wow. Wow. I already tell this is actually going to be kind of a, not a big HG kit, but a I don't know how to put it. Spatial? Large? I don't know. I don't know. Like Donkey Kong music. What is this? It is Donkey Kong music. What game is this from? I don't recognize which game it's from, though. Donkey Kong Country 2. Okay. I'm glad that there is some old school music on here, because I'm much more of I'm a bigger fan of chip tunes than most things, I guess. Let's see. Rough. Again, not that I particularly super care because it's just a stand, but this balancer is a lifesaver, actually. Should be using this more. Also, I will say I built the Age 1 normal HG kit probably a couple weeks ago at this point. Off stream. I just wanted to do a build without having to talk. Let's see here. So it goes like that. Okay. And then you just put the thingy on there. Oh, nice. Nice little guy here. Yay. There we go. All done. No, I'm just kidding. We're not all done. We are just beginning. Got the vacuum to clean all these little particles up. Lots of little particles. All right. Where to next? Oh, we're building the torso first. Is that normal? Do I usually build the torso first? That feels like that's not something that happens a lot. I feel like usually you build the arms first. Maybe I'm wrong. Probably different for every kit, and I just think I know what I'm talking about. When we all know that I definitely don't know what I'm talking about. I saw a guy in another stream talking about painting, and he was talking about how he only snaps kits because he's afraid of paint, and I was like, I feel that. I feel that so much. Funny part is, as you can see, I have more than the means to paint, but so I tried to paint. First kit I ever tried to paint. Just even the surfacer. It just came out bad looking. And the thing is like, if there's one thing you can almost always guarantee is that your primer, a model covered in primer, almost always looks fantastic. Even before you put any other paint on it, it almost always looks amazing covered in primer. And the fact that I painted this thing just with the primer, and it looked bad. I was like, I don't think I should paint. So I've been scared ever since to hop back into painting. But when I do, the other thing too is like, I do like the models, the way that they look. I know painting is more for customization, and I've never been inspired to customize any of these yet. Other than I've thought about detail painting them instead of having stickers on them, just detail painting in what would be the stickers. I have thought about that before because I don't like the way the stickers look on these things. But again, I just haven't. Ooh, that's not good. Man, I'm really cutting into this one. So I use a Tamiya knife, but the blades, they're not X-Acto. They're what's the name of the brand? Oofla? Hold on. I actually can look real quick. Oh, I swear it has it printed on the blade itself, but I guess not. I like the rounded ones better. Let me look real quick here. I think I have extras. No, these are my extra X-Actos. These are my fancy extra X-Actos. Are these them? There it is, yeah. Olfa, that's what they're called. Olfa. I should get more of these, actually. I wonder how much they are. I remember they were hard to find, actually. If I remember correctly, they were not easy to get. I'm sure most people just use X-Acto, but I can't remember. I heard that I think the Ofla blades are what come in Tamiya hobby pen or hobby pro knives. So I figured that's what I would get. If that's what's in there, that's what I would get. Because everyone at the time, it's so funny because I know I'm kind of changing the subject here, but it's funny because when I started doing this, which wasn't that long ago, March of 2019 or so was when I started doing Gunpla again. Oh, I see. Okay. When I started doing Gunpla again, like everything was very. Did I do that wrong? I did. Okay. Everything was very use this paint, use these nippers, use this blade, use... It really does... Oh, it isn't. Oh, it's very loose. Oh, I don't like that. Anyway, is that really right? It is. Okay, whatever. It's gonna have a very loose head then, I guess. But yeah, everyone was very specific about like, do it, use it this way, do it this way. And now it's like, there's so many more paints. You know, there's like G paint and Display and Turbo Dork, and so that's already actually, when I started the Vallejo, the Mecha paint, that didn't even exist yet. That came out like a year later after I started. And so it's crazy just in that quadrant how things have changed. But then yeah, then you add in Display and you add in all these other companies that, I mean, I think Infinity existed, but like I also, you know, I hadn't heard about them until they started getting stocked on, I think, USA Gundam or something like that. And I guess it's just crazy how it's probably only been like the last like, and like, again, I've only been in this hobby again for the last 3 years, and it feels, even in that little of a time, that there's so many more companies that have started making stuff. You know, I know it's not Gunpla specific or anything like that, but it feels like it. I mean, geez, the company's literally called G Paint. You know what I mean? Like, what do you think it's for? I'm actually curious about that. Like, so my point is that like, there's no denying it that modeling, making scale models, has become a thing for sure. My question is it like, I definitely feel like Gunpla exploded, but did like all scale modeling explode? Like, are people making like more car models and boat models and jet models and tank models and stuff like that too? You know, I have a pretty good feeling that probably COVID had a big part of that, just because it's like people needed indoor hobbies to do because they weren't being able to do the stuff that they normally do. Which in a way means that like, I probably actually picked the worst time. It's like the worst time and the best time to get into this hobby, because like I said, there's so much, feels like, innovation just as far as like paint and tools and stuff like that that's going on. But also it makes it harder to find things. It's funny because, and this, everyone I tell this story to thinks I'm stupid, but I don't care. I actually, on USA Gundam, in 2019, they had Neo Zeongs back ordered, the high grade Neo Zeong back ordered, and I pre-ordered one. And then, from what I was told by the guys there, who, you know, this is not to crap on them, because I have bought a ton of stuff from USA Gundam, so this isn't a negative towards them. But basically, from what I understand, they thought they were going to get a certain amount of those, and they actually got less than they thought they were going to get of them. And so, and since I pre-ordered it pretty late, because they had the date of when it was going to be there, and I was really struggling on whether or not I wanted to get it. And there's another story to this that I'll tell, but basically I had, well, no, I can tell it's real quick. I had gone to a comic convention, and this was when I just started doing Gunpla, and there was a guy there that was selling the Neo Zeong, and he was selling it for $200, which, as you know, that's a great deal on a unopened Neo Zeong. But at the time, I didn't really know that that they weren't really making them anymore, and B, that was a crazy good deal for that specific kit if you want it. So I figured I would go around and check the rest of the con floor to see if maybe anyone else had it. And of course, no one else had one of those laying around. And the reason he was selling it for $200 is because the box is so big, he didn't want to have to take it back to his shop. And, which, as you know, that is a huge kit. Like, I have a Dendrobium on the table here, and that's huge. And the Neo Zeong, like, fits. Like, you can put the box for the Dendrobium on top of the Neo Zeong. Like, it's a very big kit. Anyway, and I always regretted not getting it that day, because by the time I came back around to that booth at that convention, it had been sold, because someone was smarter than me and just was like, yeah, sure. The other thing too was, and I'll give myself this excuse, was my hotel that I was staying at for the con was not super close. It was like you had to walk from one building to another building. And I knew if I was going to get that kit, I was going to have to immediately take it to my hotel room. And because it's huge, it's gigantic. So, and I just didn't want to do that at the time. But again, looking back, big mistake. I really should have just sucked it up and, oh, that's why I'm doing it upside down. I should have just sucked it up and gotten it, because, as you know, part of my enjoyment of this hobby is not just the building, it's the collecting. And, my goal is eventually to have built one of every high grade that I can get my hands on. So then there is a lot of high grades, but that Neo Zeong, man, that's my that's the one I yeah. Like, I would never pay more than MSRP on it. MSRP on that thing is already, I think, like over $300. I would never pay more than that, because if I wanted to right now, I could go online and buy one for, I've seen it on eBay for like $900 and $1,000. No, I'm never going to do that. That kit's not even, that kit's expensive because it's huge, not because it's a great kit, you know? The thing that's great, the Shinanju that's included with the kit is better than the actual Neo Zeong itself. Like, it's just a big hunk of plastic that barely moves, right? But I think it's just the rarity that drives me crazy. It's like, how, like, anytime I find a kit, an HG kit that's in the first, like, well, I guess I shouldn't say every time I find one, because I still haven't found some of them, but any kit that they reprint that's in like the first like 10, like the first, like the high grade Universal Century that's like in the first 10, that those are also my holy grails. Those are the ones that I just like. One day I'll get those. But the thing is that whenever they do, reprints, they always do the revives, and the revives are great. Like, don't get me wrong, they're much better in every single way than those original HG kits. But again, I'm a completionist, so every time one of those have popped up, I've gotten it ASAP. I also noticed the other day. So the thing is like, up until recently, I've always been kind of like a casual buyer. Like, oh, if they have it in stock, I'll pick it up, whatever, I never sat there and waited for things to come in stock on websites and then try to get it as fast as I can. But I did see that Planet Gundam was restocking a bunch of high grade kits that I haven't seen in a long time. And so I wanted to pick up one of those, or actually a few of them, actually. And they put them in stock. And no kidding, almost every single one that was part of that new stock was sold out within probably 10 minutes, maybe less than that, of being in stock, which is crazy to me. Some of them, I tried to get as many of them as I could. I think there was 2 of them that sold out before I could even get my hands on them. Luckily, I found out that my local hobby store had recently gotten a similar restock, and I was able to get, it was specifically the Comfer. I really wanted the Comfer. That one sold out before I could get my hands on it, but my local hobby store had gotten a few Comfers in, and I was able to get one there, thankfully. But it did cause an issue, because I do feel like within the last like 2 weeks, Bandai's really been sending a lot more stock to the States again, because I feel like during the entire COVID time, like, so many shops that I go to, like, there's one shop that I go to that I swear you would walk in there and they had 2 full aisles of Gunpla. And now their Gunpla stock is like maybe like a small shelf, like maybe the size of my table total. And like, and half of that is just like weapon accessories and stuff, like stuff that you don't even, you might want them, but like, they're not actual kits. They're just accessories, or SD Gundams, which, whatever. And then the other hobby shop that I go to, like, they have a huge wall where they put all their Gunpla at, but most of it's covered with like hexagear and stuff like that now, because I guess what's the name of that company? Kodo Kabuya or whatever. Kotobukiya. They definitely, I guess they restocked the States a lot better than Bandai had been. I also know that Bandai recently, I don't know how recent this was, so I could be talking out of my butt and I have no idea what I'm saying, but like, I know that Bandai had recently, I think they bought out Bluefin, which was their distributor here in the States. So maybe that was part of it. Maybe there was some restructuring that had to happen where they could actually get stuff shipped here. Because I would assume that if, Bandai buys Bluefin, then that, in my mind, would mean that we'd be able to get kits faster, I would think. But either way, my point was it feels like in the last 2 weeks there's been a real explosion of kits coming in, which is fine with me. I am A-okay with that. My problem is that there were so few of them coming in that my reaction to when I would see kits that I didn't have, not that I'm aching for kits, as you can see, but during COVID, when there was kits that I couldn't get, that I would let me put it this way. Before COVID, when I would go into a hobby shop, they had so many kits there that, I would be there. I'll just get one or two today and, whatever. And then, they have so many kits here. I'll just come back and get some of these other ones at another time after I build these kits. And then when COVID started, it felt a lot like, it felt like you were so starved for kits that basically it was like all you were really getting was whatever Bandai, the new stuff that Bandai was putting out. Which, of course, I picked up all that stuff. But otherwise, it's like you weren't really, at least around, it seems like online and at least at the hobby shops that I go to, there wasn't a lot of, they weren't really like reprinting a lot of older kits anymore. It was just basically new kits and that's it. And that was really disappointing because I actually, being new to the hobby, I like building those old kits. It also seemed like there was a stronger focus on master grades and real grades too. It's a really hard sticker to put on. Am I doing this? It don't look right, but I guess it's right. Which that's actually one of the reasons I started getting into master grades more, because that's what was available. That's what you could get. And real grades too, which, honest to goodness, like, I love building HG kits because they're very simple and there's so many options for them. But I mean, master grade kits and even more so real grade kits are incredible. Especially just with the posability and stuff like that. I still haven't built a perfect grade yet. I do have a perfect grade, but I have not done that yet. Okay, we got plenty of time still. Let's see, where are we? Okay. What a pain. All right, let's see. Some good music. What's this from? Xenoblade Chronicles. Xenoblade Chronicles. Man, I've been thinking about getting one of those games for the Switch. Thing is though, I buy a lot of JRPGs on the Switch, and then I never play them. It's so funny, because I really do like JRPGs, but I think the PlayStation 2 era was my golden years. I played a lot, though. I beat a lot of JRPGs on, definitely more so on the PlayStation 1 than on the PlayStation 2. but I definitely played my fair share of JRPGs on the PlayStation 2 as well. I mean, technically, I'm also in the middle of playing Final Fantasy 13 and Final Fantasy 2 Pixel remasters, so I guess I'm doing that as well. So I guess I can't say that I'm not playing any JRPGs anymore. I'm actually technically playing 2 JRPGs right now. Let's see, A27. I will say, so like I said earlier, I built the age normal one. I don't remember. Age 1 normal. There we go. It was a really easy build. It was like one night. It only took one night to build it. And super simple. And I'll be honest, I really like the design. I think maybe the A in the center of his chest is a little silly, but like as far as Gundams that obviously take a lot of notes from the RX-78, like I really like the way that one looks. I know that the art style for Age is a little bit more simplistic, and that probably lends to the reason why. But that is a lot of the reason why, because I honestly think that the look of it is streamlined. I actually really like the streamlined look of it quite a bit. Does fit? Oh, it's upside down. There we go. There we go. Then I need E. Oh, Zelda. Everyone loves a Zelda. E, huh? Okay, so it's a clear piece. I hate clear pieces. They just cut so funky. I mean, yeah. Clear pieces are basically one big stress mark. Much better, and that looked so nice. All right, and I guess this has a sticker on it somewhere. Oh, okay. Probably should have put it on before I put it on. There we go. That looks terrible, but all stickers look terrible. B19. I've been thinking about replaying the Arkham games. I think all these videos of people playing Arkham because of the Batman has kind of inspired me to do something similar. Oh shoot! I fell on the ground. That flew. All right, I need a flashlight. Oh wow, it bounced so hard. It bounced off the wall, onto the floor, and then under my feet. Which, usually it's so much harder to find these pieces. Sometimes you never find those pieces. What game is this from? It almost sounds like Uncharted. It is Uncharted. Okay. I wonder if that Uncharted movie flopped. I mean, I like Tom Holland at all, but he's not Nathan Drake. He just isn't. Wow. Looking good. I like it already. Six, 26, 26, 24, 20. Wait, what? Oh, this is B, that's why. There we go. Right there in front of me. Ah, it needs a little dealy bob on it. Is that number 2? Yeah, it is. I love that torso. I'm loving it. Loving it, loving it, loving it. I really do love these age kits. Like, I'm just looking at the kits that I have sitting here. Oh, the Titus. I can't wait to build that one because obviously the dog, my dog Titus, just, you know, that one's dedicated to him. A23, so I have to see if anyone knows any good side cutters. Like, the thing is if I used my god hands to cut those runners, right, it would cut through very nice, very easily. And like, I know that's not what side cutters are for. They're not for that kind of like buttery precision, but someone has to have made a really sharp side cutter. I was looking at God Hand themselves to see if they made a side cutter that was very sharp. I haven't really seen a whole lot of... They do have like a normal set of side cutters. But I haven't really ever seen anyone say that they're particularly good or particularly bad either way. So, all right, B3. Okay, so I'm building the eyes and the mouth. That came off real easy. Doon, 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 doon. Always very cautious when I'm using the blade because I know in the past I have cut myself, not terribly, but put it this way. My job requires me to basically use not just my hands, but specifically my fingers all day. And having cut up bloody fingers is not optimal. All right. Let's see. I'm guessing that I'm grabbing... Where'd it go? 8 or number 10. Yeah, of course. It's the eyeballs. Got to get them eyeballs. So for the longest time, I wasn't putting decals on any of my models because my idea was eventually that, oh, well, I would just paint in those details at some point. But, you know, I display my models when I'm done with them. I put them up in a display case, and I figure, you know, until I do decide to do that, I should be doing that. I should be putting the decals on and stuff because as much as I'm not a big fan of decals, they look naked without them. They don't look right. So they're not decals because decals look good. I guess I should say stickers. decals are something different technically. I I remember very early on I had a I built a Cubily. It was the blue HG1. And that was my first encounter with a dry, what do you call it? Like a dry decal or whatever they're called, right? And I actually just assumed that it was a water decal. So I tried to apply it as a water decal. So I used like what's it called? The Mark Fit and all that, and let's just say that the decal didn't turn out so great. I still have it on there. It just kind of looks like weathering, but the funny part is that that's the only part of the kit that looks like weathering. So, whatever. I'll take a picture of that one and put it on Instagram, actually, because it's actually probably one of the biggest goofs I've ever made while making one of these. So, it's very silly. There we go. Oh, I'm an idiot. That's why. Okay, there we go. It won't fit right if you hold it upside down. Sticker somewhere, apparently. Number 6. Ah, of course, it's going to be a little green light. I notice it doesn't have a giant A on the chest plate, but it does have a giant A on the forehead. It's like I said, it's on the nose, but whatever. It's fun. How do you know it's the HGAG Gundam? Have you looked? Well, that's a weird one. How does that fit in there? I didn't grab the right one, right? 6? Yeah. It's gonna look terrible. Ugh. Is that really how it's gonna look? Okay. This is the nastiest sticker. I almost just want to grab like a... Do I have a... I do have a fluorescent green paint. Although that's not really fluorescent as much as it's like emerald. Do I have an emerald sort of paint here? I have bright green. Let's see. Probably be better. It's how it will be for now. It's just a very ugly sticker. Where are we? A14 and A16. Where's 16? Where's 14? There it is. Hours. I usually do 2 hours for a stream, but what time is it in real life? Almost 10. Do have to be careful because I do have work in the morning, so I can't stay up too super late. I'm trying to decide whether or not I only want to do 2 hours on this or if I want to do more. Eeny. It's pretty clean, actually. cut off the little nubs at the end of the horns, but I also know that they're only there for safety. I'm living dangerously. I think that looks much better. I should do that more often. All right, let's see. So this goes like so. Okay, maybe maybe this will help it look better with the actual. Wait, how's it go? Like, oh, I see. So it's with them pointing upwards. Okay. Okay. And then it needs another sticker. 5 here. Yeah. Yeah. Like all the rest of the stickers are going to go on the whatever that thing is. I actually don't know what that is again. Once again, I've not watched this show, so I have no idea what I'm building here. Oh, there's still more. Jeez. Very intricate headpiece here. A39. Oh, wow. Okay. I'm actually going to just use the God hands to cut this part out. This literally, like, if I was to drop this among the rest of, like, the little clippings and stuff that I have here, I could easily mistake it for just a junk piece that fell off. It's very tiny. And this goes like so. Oh, it actually goes in the middle of the A. I'm glad I put the sticker on right, or else that would have looked ridiculous. It still looks ridiculous, honestly. That's okay, though. It looks fine. And then 39. Wait. That was 39. 24 is what I'm looking for. 24 is what I'm looking for. I can say that rhymes, but that's not a rhyme. That's more of just the same word. Something. I remember now. For some reason, I think my builds were usually only like 2 hours long, but the last couple of builds have been longer than 2 hours. So probably because I get real iffy about, or not iffy, but like I really like to complete a part before I go to sleep or anything like that. So I usually end up staying up an extra a few minutes and stuff like that to make sure certain parts are finished. Although tonight, about it, I don't know. Yo, his head's done. It's a cool head. Put that on. Like I said, though, I think his head is going to be really loose. Let me see if I try to pull it off. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I like the way it looks, though. I really like this. I like the colors on this, like the blue and the dark blue. And like, even though I'm not crazy about the stickers, I don't know. It looks nice. I really like this one. I like the look of it. I like the cut of its jib. All right. Do I start the arms tonight or do I finish for tonight? I think I finished for tonight. I think we're going to finish for tonight. And maybe next on the next stream we'll go a little bit longer. Cuz I have the arms. Yeah, I think we're done for tonight. So, let's go ahead and because I know if I start doing the arms usually take a little while, and you know they can take well over a half hour to build all by themselves. So I don't want to get into that necessarily tonight. So so I guess that's it for tonight, and we will continue next time, whatever next time is. Hopefully sooner than later. I am trying to do more building more often. As you can see, I have a problem. And I need to fix that problem by knocking all these out. Oh, wait, you know what? No. I did something, but I know that's really vague, but I did something to make choosing what kits get done next a little simpler. But I'm not going to unveil my process until we get done with this one, and then you will see a little bit of a game added on to this. I originally was planning on doing polls, but you know, not enough people watch the live streams really to do a fair poll. So I decided that's probably not the best way to do it. Where's the cover for my God Hands? Oh, making a mess. Where's the cover for the God Hands though? Anyway, I'll find them in a second here. But yeah, so I think it'll be, it's just a little thing. It's not anything to get too excited about, but I do think it's fun. It's a fun way of choosing things. I like kind of leaving choice out of my hands and either letting other people choose, which is originally why I was going to do polling, but oh god. I love Final Fantasy. I really think that's the best video game soundtrack. But what was I saying? Right. So I think that it'll be, I think, again, like I said, I just enjoy kind of leaving, taking myself out of the choice and letting the choice kind of be random. And you could probably figure out very easily from that statement what I've decided to do as far as how I'm going to choose the next kit that I build. However, you know, if viewership grows more over time and everything, maybe I'll switch over to polls. But we'll see. Anyway, so that's it for tonight, and I hope you had a good time.